Hello everybody, it's Sam the Vaultboyhunter here, doing a Paper Pauper deck tech. This is the last one I'll be doing out of this series, just because it's the last deck that I have built right now. I'll do more as I get more built in the future. This one is Tortured Toolbox. It's a Tortured Existence brew that I brewed for, I think, the last Pauper Gauntlet, and it did fairly well. It's definitely your typical Tortured Existence deck where you hit Tortured and you win a lot of the time, and if you miss Tortured, it's a bad Golgari deck. So that's pretty much just how it goes, but we'll run through it. First, maybe one of the best one drops in the format, 3 Bone Splitters, Fume Spitters. Again, recurring, just like with Trinket, recurring -1/-1 counters is really strong. And one off of Aggro Skulls, just for long games against control. This deck is full of a lot more one-offs because it is a toolbox sort of deck. Then 3 Satyr Wayfinders. They help fix land and they fill your yard. And that's super important in this deck because your yard is a resource with Tortured Existence, plus it's just another creature to pitch Tortured Existence. Next up is I think really the card that makes the deck even possible to play, because if you don't hit your Tortured Existence, a lot of your creatures are really dirty little dudes that don't do a whole lot, but because of Putrid Leech, you can actually still hit the ground running, spend some life, and do a lot of damage, and then those piddly little dudes can get in there for those remaining points of damage. So 3 off of those. Super strong card. Then Crypt Rats, board wipe, win condition, pretty rats. So, and then 3 Stinkweeds, a little defense, a little dredging, so a nice little combination of both. And flying, so it's got a little evasion. 2 Tilling Treefolk. I like this in any deck where I can recur them, and I have cycle lands, and when we get to the lands you'll see that it runs a pretty decent amount of cycling lands. 1 Yabomire Elder for a little deck thinning, a little card draw, and a little gets you 2 basic lands. I mean, that's not bad at all. It's a 2/1. So. Okay, next up is 2 Golgari Brown Skulls. One of the engine cards in the deck, dredging it back for the 2, and then gaining the 2 life. You almost never cast this dude. He pretty much just spends the whole time dancing from your yard to your hand, to your yard to your hand, to your yard to your hand. Vulturous Haven is next, a little card draw that you can recur. Grave Scrabbler, Gravekeeper, or Gravedigger type effect on a Madness card, so you can discard him to your Tortured Existence and then get a creature back. And a creature back, and put them into play. So, all around pretty good. One moment. I'm sorry if you can tell that I keep cutting. I've been dealing with like a sinus infection thing, and anytime I have to talk for a long period of time, it's making me cough like crazy, and it's just driving me crazy. It's been going on for like a week and a half now. And it's just really annoying. I don't recommend. 0 out of 0. Do not recommend. Would not watch. Next up is the Battlefield Scrounger. Threshold is something that's guaranteed in this deck, and you put 3 cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library, and it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. You can only do that once a turn. It gets you from decking yourself with the Dredge pretty effectively. And a 6/6 for 5 mana, and You can do things like with your Elder, you can get your lands back and stuff like that. It's pretty effective. I like it quite a bit. One Predatory Night Stalker. This guy was hard to find on TCG Player. There were 4 shops that even had him, and that's just because I think this was from Portal 1 or Portal 2. Portal 1, I think. And there's just not a lot of Portal out there. I mean, I think the third one's the shortest in supply, and the second one the white guys had guns. The white creatures had guns. So it's really hard to find too. And then the last creature is just another kind of utility beater, and that's Frozen Tusker. Cycle them early, draw your extra card, get your land fixed. So, and that's it for the creatures. It's a mixed bag, but normally when you're playing a toolbox deck, it is going to be a mixed bag. So that's to be expected. Next up is the non-creature spells. There's only a few. It's a really creature-heavy deck overall, as most Pauper decks really are. Next up is the 4 Tortured Existence, the key to the deck, so to speak. It's the black, play black, choose and discard a creature card from your hand, and return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So basically you're exchanging a creature in your hand for a creature in your graveyard. The best creature, of course, to do that with is the Gogori Groundscale, because he gains you 2 life each time he does the dance. So I wish Corpse Dance was common. That would destroy the format. But next up is Commune with Nature, kind of the Seder Wayfinders, 5 through 7. But this can actually search up your Tortured Existence as well. So you get a creature or an enchantment. But basically you're going digging to either fill your yard or to get a Tortured Existence. So, like if I hit 4 creatures with that, or 5 creatures with that, unless one of them was something that I absolutely needed in that just that moment right there, I'd probably put all 5 in the yard, just to have the option of getting it back with the Tortured Existence. It's almost always better. And then a one-off Gnaw to the Bone for anti-aggro. You end up with a lot of creatures in your yard, and then the flashback on it is pretty good. So even if you do happen to mill it, you can just cast it from your yard, gain a whole bunch of life, and really just get past aggro pretty effectively. Lands. We have 4 forests. We have a million swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 swamps. We have 3 barren moors. So cycle lands. 1 tranquil thicket. 2 Golgari rock farms. Both of them. We have 4 terramorphics. We have 4 evolving wilds. So as you can see, the tree folk can get a lot of stuff back. You can get back the cycle lands from our card draw. You can get back the Pauper fetches for more deck thinning, card draw, or deck thinning and then land searching. I mean, you're running pretty much as many of those as you are running basics, basically. So just having all of your basic lands out of your deck is pretty good, even though thinning is marginal. So that's the main deck. And over to the sideboard. So the sideboard is kind of a weird thing in the deck because you're normally in sideboards you're not going really creature heavy for the most part, but again, because it's a toolbox deck, you're more likely to put in more creatures. So first off is the 4th Fume Spitter for a little more control. Probably bring that against like Delver, anything with Spell Starter Strikes, or Cloud of Fairies. Hope I don't run into Cloud of Fairies. Caustic Caterpillar, card from Origins I really like. Reusable, it used to be Cellblock Replica from the original Mirrodin block, but this guy's easier to cast. 2 Spore Fogs, grants aggro, so pretty good there. 1 Fester Creep, so a little token control. If you're not familiar with it, it costs 2 and it's a 1/1. It comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it, and you can play a colorless and a black to remove the 1/1 counter and give all other creatures -1/-1 until on a turn. So it's reusable, recurable, a board wipe to go with the Crypt Rats, which actually deal damage. Sometimes with the Crypt Rats you have to be careful because you're at such a low life that you can't remove as much as you want. And then 2 Fairy Macabres, and that's a tricky word for me always, for graveyard control. Again, because you can recur a lot of your creatures, these are actually better than like a Nilhai Spellbomb or something like that. So, plus it's a 2/2 flying for 3, so I mean, if you run into a deck where that's relevant, not having those come in isn't a bad idea. 3 Duresses, pretty common in a black deck. I like to run some Duresses for anti-control. 2 Doomblades for a little targeted removal. And then 3 Chainer's Edicts for like hexproof and that type of thing. And that's it. I mean, the deck itself, it plays relatively well. I mean, I had been playing when I was playing a lot more online. I'd been playing it, and I mean, in the game, it really, like, you hit a Tortured Existence early in a game, you win 55% of the time, something like that. Maybe not quite that high, but pretty high, because you're just getting so much value from your little dudes. And then recurring the Brown Skells, recurring the Night Stalkers, recurring, like, keeping people off of their hands with augurs, getting back, just the act alone of getting back the Fume Spitters over and over and over again means that you can control a lot of what they're doing aggressively against you. And then there's the games that you never hit a Tortured Existence, and then you still have creatures and you can still do stuff, but you're basically a dredge deck at that point without any of what makes real dredge decks good. But that is it. So those are the first 3 decks that I will be bringing to the Paper Pauper night. The first one is this Thursday, the 5th, so that's going to be fun. And I will probably talk about it on the podcast that we do on the 9th and let you guys know how it went. Oh, wait, I disappeared. Oh no. Okay, there I am. Okay. I had magiccards.info open in the background just in case I need to look anything up, but I think everything went well. And then if you guys like these videos, I will do, as I continue to build out my Paper Pauper deck collection, I'll continue to do them like I do my cube updates and all of that type of stuff. And then if I continue to do them between now and March, you'll get to see my beard get progressively longer and longer and longer, because I've taken my last shave for the autumn winter. I don't shave from September until March. It's pretty impressive. Things get crazy. Last year I think it was down to like my mid-belly. But anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like it, and leave comments, and that's it. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter at MagicGathStrat, Facebook /MagicGatheringStrat, or on the web, magicgatheringstrat.com. There you can find articles and free prize-supported leagues. This is all brought to you by our Patreons and cardhoarder.com. If you enjoyed this content, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/magicgatheringstrat.